Haunting me inside.
Like I say, this is probably the same way you
You're in my mind. You're in my mind.
Now, high schoolers, and especially as you get into college, and if you want to keep going with your sport, you have to make some sacrifices. But if you love what you're doing, and they're not really sacrifices. They're just choices you have to make. Maybe you can't go out on Friday night to the party because you have to train the next day, and you can't stay out late. You gotta sleep, and so that's something that I think is important for the people. When people kind of get caught up in that, especially at the college level, you see them start to fade away from the sport. So if you really want to stick to it, you have to have balance, but you also have to be able to make choices.
There you go, perfect.
For you throwers in every event, the one word I would say is consistency. It's just being able to manage the highs and the lows, because if you're doing this sport year round and you're trying to be the best, you're going to have really crummy days and you're going to have really great days, and this is just a practice. So if you can manage that and you can just kind of go through with a consistent nature and really manage those highs and lows, you're going to eventually make the average just better than the week before, and you're just going to keep getting better and better and better. So consistency and just being able to manage the highs and the lows is something that I would see in all athletes, not just in track and field around the track, but in all athletes in all sports.
Every time I see you, I start crying.
The important part about this is that as you get stronger and more athletic, it allows you to train, injury-free with the stuff you learned over at Magda Station, but also as you get stronger, it's part of injury prevention. And if you're stronger, you can train harder, more consistently, and the more consistent you can be, the better you're going to be over the season, over the course of a year, even over the course of your running career, because you have the accumulation of training. So it's a big part of being successful in the sport is just staying healthy, and this can be a big part of doing that.
It tears me up.
Throw it back in front of you, and then keep going. Hit that.
It tears me up. And I feel so. And I feel so.
Bring it up again.
And I feel so. And I feel so.
Do that back. And I'm gonna just ride a bike. Okay? Just getting the blood flowing, opening up your hips, backward, forward, front leg, back leg. And we're just opening up your lower back.
You're in my mind. Every time I see you, I start crying inside. And every time I hear your voice, you won't want to.
I'm just getting my feet above my ankles, just focusing on going fast, and then I'll just go into my first stride.
I feel empty.
Have biceps are going to be working, and so when they get tired, they'll switch to the other half of the fibers to work, so I can just keep holding these for endurance. But for sprinting, we want to adapt our muscles and teach them to all fire at the same time, so we can get the max amount of power.
Spot right here, and power up, and try to land.
And every time I see you, I start crying inside. And every time
Most successful athletes, just in general, sort of two different types of people. There's love to win and hate to lose. And, you know, obviously you're not going to win every single event you do. And learning how to lose is part of becoming a human being. The athletes who hate to lose will by far be more successful over their lives and over their careers than the people who just love to win. And it's sort of hard distinction because, okay, yeah, we all love to win. Yeah, winning is fun. But for the people who hate to lose, that's what motivates them in the off season when it's raining and it's cold and there aren't fans in the stands chanting their name, or not that really happens anyway. But, you know, getting the work done when there's no one around to make sure you get it done. Typically, people who hate to lose or are fearful of losing. That was me. That was my biggest fear. Was losing, and if I did win a race or if I did succeeded, I was always much happier that I didn't fail than I was that I had succeeded. If that makes sense. It's a tough way to go through life, but it's in terms of reaching the highest pinnacle of success. That's the type of person. I'm not even sure if you can be that type of person if you're not already. And I'm not saying you necessarily should be, but just to truthfully answer the question, the most successful people tended to focus more on the avoidance of failure than the joy of victory.
So if you're out here, that's okay. That is your flexibility we're trying to get here. Don't be right here with a bent leg and just do this, because you're not really working anything. Assist for 1-2 seconds and we're coming down. It doesn't matter if you're right here or right here, as long as if you're way out here but your knee is bent, we're not doing this correctly. So we want to make sure that your leg is nice and straight. 1, 2, bring it down. The one thing that's very expensive at all, you can make it yourself and you can put whatever you want in it. I put just 1 pound dumbbells, but you can put bag of rice, you can put a can in it, strengthening all the little muscles and big muscles in your lower leg are forced to get strong. And I'm really excited to be doing clinics and be here in the second year in a row, and hope you guys had a great time.
You know, I would say this: nerves are probably the exciting part of racing. If you start to lose those nerves, I think you're missing out on something. It gets the adrenaline going, it gets you to actually touch your toes. I don't know about you guys, but if you can't touch your toes right now, try to touch your toes before a race. That's nerves. But in all seriousness, if you just relax and you spend tons of time, a day in and day out, working out, going to practice, taking care of all the little things, you really shouldn't have nerves that are out of control. I know that, like, for instance, when I'm really fit and I know I've done everything that I can possibly do, I know that no matter what, I'm going to get to the starting line and I will run the best race possible because I've taken care of all the controllables. If you can control the controllables and not worry about, you know, weather or who's in the race, and you just take care of yourself and you really work hard day in and day out, I think that takes a lot of the nerves out of it because you're really confident in what you can do and what you've done to get ready to that point.
Just like you're practicing your rope stretching or you're practicing the proper warm-up, you should also invest some time in mentally preparing for the things that are really challenging, so you don't get over nervous. And I think that I agree with Jake that being a little bit nervous is it means you care about the outcome, and it's a good thing.